welcome back. You are here at the final of the UK National Championship. We have got the final game coming up very shortly between Jamie and Alex, between Drumeye and Briar. These two heroes, these two players, they are heroes themselves, these players.
Absolutely.
Have made it through 6 rounds of CC, 6 rounds of Monarch Draft, and they have risen to the top. They have defeated some incredibly strong players along the way to have the opportunity to be crowned the UK National Champion.
Absolutely. Now, I know we obviously watched Jamie Faulkner on stream in the semi-finals defeat Harrison Shaw as Katsu very assuringly, we should say. But I was just watching a little bit of Alex Chitu against Nathan Hills in that other semi-final as well. And Alex managed to fatigue the fatigue Dory. It was a spectacular performance. So hence we just wanted to give Alex just a little bit of time to recover, catch some fresh air, a bit like ourselves. And that's why we're bringing to you now the final between Jamie Faulkner on Dromai and Alex Chitu on that Dorinthia. Briar. It's been a long 2 days.
It's been a long old day, but no. It was a fantastic game between Alex and Nathan. We managed to catch quite a lot of it because it went on for an incredibly long time. So even though we were casting the semi-final between Jamie and Harrison, we got to catch a little bit of it. It was mad. At the end of that game, Nathan Hills, who had been trying to fatigue players all throughout the game, throughout the day, throughout the weekend, found himself with no cards in deck himself, as Alex Chitu managed to completely fatigue a great axe Dory. But we're going to go now to the player profiles, starting with Alex Chitu. Push the point patron, I will point out, 9-3 today, current hero, Briar, preferred hero Viserai. We all know Alex is a Viserai stan in our hearts. Has had great success with that hero, but made the bold choice to switch to Briar. When even Briar wasn't the most popular hero going around, but he's such a big fan of Runeblade. His previous accolades is top 4 the Battle Hardened Boulogne and top 4 UK Nationals in 2022. So he has made it back to the top 4 again, and he's gone one better to the top 2. His locals is Dice Saloon in Brighton, a lovely store if you're ever in that part of the world.
Absolutely. And another player that we know exceptionally well is Jamie Faulkner. So both London players here. Jamie Faulkner went 9-3, went 8-1 on his first day yesterday, on the first day of UK Nationals in the Swiss. Current hero Dromai, preferred hero Dromai. His accolades, top 8 of the Calling Utrecht, top 4. I mean, it just goes on, I think, this list of accolades for Jamie Faulkner here. And locals, I mean, he very much popularizes Talishar himself.
A lot of top 4s, a lot of top 8s, but we've yet to see Jamie win a major event. And this is the opportunity for Jamie to finally prove that he can go to the final to win it, to take home the glory of being the winner of one of these major tournaments that Flesh and Blood has to offer. Same for Alex. He's going to want to try and prove himself here in the UK. People that played against Alex know his professionalism and skill with the game, but he's going to want to be able to convert that into being able to call himself the UK National Champion. We've got the game coming up for you very shortly. It's going to be an interesting one. We've seen Jamie already take down a Katsu on his way to the final. No mean feat for a Dromai player. It's a terrible matchup, but he showed that there are ways to win it. He played a more aggressive game plan using cards like Ravenous Rabble and big attacks like Miraging Metamorph to push a lot of damage onto the Katsu and really put the pressure on.
For sure. And we saw as well, we had Alex Chitu on in round 3 of Swiss yesterday, playing this Briar deck. And it's very much, it's not the recently popularized defensive Briar deck. It's very much leaning into those aggressive lines, looking to go wide, and has an awful lot of those promise of plenties, trying to be ultra efficient. There's a little bit of recursion in there as well, with a package between So Tomorrow and Rites of Replenish, a card that you said yourself very much enjoy.
I was always a big fan of Rites of Replenish back in the Earth Briar days, and we did see a lovely Earth Briar style turn from Alex Chitu earlier in the tournament where he did a lovely Bramble Spark into CNC Go again, backbreaking for Sharif's Lexi, used that momentum to power himself through into that semi-final where he did completely deck out the Axe Dory, using that Rites of Replenishment recurrence to just run that fatigue deck out of cards. Jamie's going to want to try and do going to want to try and develop dragons. They're a little bit safer in this matchup than they are against Katsu, but he does still need to be careful that he doesn't give too much fuel for Alex to run into. But you got to remember, every time that Alex uses a card to take down a dragon, it's a card that's not attacking Jamie. And Jamie getting off to a good start here with a sigil out of hand. We do see that he does have the Seeker's Leggings, which is a way for him to generate Ash if he wishes to on this turn 1 to make sure that he's not Ash starved in the early stages of the game.
Absolutely. So he just plays out that sigil, trying to keep his life total high. Alex obviously going to be pumping out what we would expect to be some serious damage here. But as you said, Jamie's got a deck here that can sort of flick quite nicely between a bit more defensive, slower play, looking to get out those dragons, and then can maybe bring in those rabbles and go a bit more aggressive. What do you think would be sort of Jamie's preferred, I guess, approach to this game against Alex?
I think he's going to want to try and create an unbeatable board, wants to create a large number of dragons and just overpower Alex in this particular matchup. He's got a couple of interesting dragons, such as Tumultai, that can eat the opponent's equipment. However, there's not a huge, there's like a massive target. Probably Grasp is the most important, most relevant one to take down.
Yeah, in that last game we saw Jamie use Tumultai to the effect of destroying his opponent's Mask of Momentum, which is obviously a key piece of equipment for the for any Katsu player. But Alex Shitu just and Briar particularly just doesn't particularly have a standout piece of equipment. Alex here just presenting a rabble, coming in for 4 and go again. Jamie opting to block. Now, Alex is always very slow but methodical. Very thought out turns from Alex. When Jamie activates Seeker's Legs there, pitches the red in order to create the Ash. As you said, Trip. Jamie takes 3 damage, down to 40. And how are we feeling in the chat? It's been an exceptional UK Nationals 2023. Down to our final here. We've had 12 games. 12 games of Swiss. Another 3 games in the top 8. So whilst we may be feeling the effects of fatigue ourselves, Trip, I can't imagine what it's like for these players.
I'm feeling good, Sean. I'm feeling.
Well, speak for yourself, Mr. Trip.
I'm feeling awake and I'm feeling ready for this final. I think it's one of those games where we're gonna call out the plays, but we're also gonna let the plays speak for themselves. These are the 2 best players in the UK right now. We're not going to over commentate it. We're going to let these players play it out. We're going to call a few things out, but I would encourage everyone to focus on the cards that are being played on the table and really just enjoy this feature match, the final of the UK National Championships. We do see Jamie develop a Yundarai. We talked about this in the previous game. This is a really difficult dragon to remove if you don't have a popper because it has an endurance counter. That means you basically have to attack it twice. And it looks like Alex is missing a popper on this turn, does choose to block this with a Swarming Gloom Veil. And you might think it's a bit of a shame he's losing his Swarming Gloom Veil, one of his strong cards, very early. But of course, Alex very happy to get that Swarming Gloom Veil into the grave because he does have ways to recur that back out and use that in a powerful upcoming turn.
For sure. Jamie here playing out Passive Mirage, key aura in the Dromai package here. Obviously removing the Phantasm from the first Illusionist attack each round.
And that is going to be an impactful card in this matchup because Alex does have a large number of 6 power cards. Even though he's running a more aggressive, we'll just see one there. Even though he's running a more aggressive, does miss on that Sonata build, he does actually run a large number of 6 powers due to the recursion package he runs with Rites of Replenishment. I'm not 100% certain if he will run that against Jamie. I don't think he's expecting Jamie to try and fatigue him. It's a bit too risky for Jamie to sit back knowing that Alex could pull a Channel Mount Heroic at some... Alex could develop a Channel Mount Heroic at some point and just overpower Jamie. So I think Jamie's going to want to put on some pressure of his own. And this Passing Mirage is going to allow him to do that. Just keep one of those dragons safe every turn. And also the attacks that we've seen from Jamie too in the forms of a Miraging Metamorph that we did see in the Katsu game. We'll see if he runs this into Alex as well.
Yeah, when you talk about overpowering Trip, the game that I casted with Hamish, the quarter final, where we saw Alex Chitu play double Bramble Spark, each of them pumping the next attack for +3, then
Well, it
played
just
into a CNC. It just shows the power of this deck.
well, that's the issue, Sean. Is
power
it,
CNC.
if you do sit back and you do allow Briar to really take control, it can be a disaster. The amount of damage that they can push over the top can be backbreaking, and you know, double bramble into CNC is an option, but Alex is probably going to want to, well, would have want to try and use his CNCs to pop dragons if he can. Jamie got a lot of cards that he will get into the arsenal, such as sigils, that aren't as effective if you do throw down the CNC, but he is going to run a few defense reactions as well.
So starting off the combat chain here with a Sonata Arcanix. Obviously, even if it doesn't hit, it does turn on Briar's ability.
Yeah, if Alex is able to develop another non-attack here, it will allow him to make an embodiment of lightning. But the other thing, of course, that it does enable is the Rosetta swing. You need to play an attack and a non-attack to be able to get the additional effect of Rosetta of dealing 2 arcane damage. And Jamie is only running AB1, so that chip damage will get through. However, if he does develop a Ether Ashwing, we'll have access to a little bit more AB if he requires it.
Oh, Alex just thinking here. Still very early in this UK Nationals final game. As we said, Alex very purposeful, methodical. We saw that in the Swiss game. We saw it in the quarterfinal as well. Now playing the Swarming Gloomveil. Just thinking about the target for the Swarming Gloomveil.
I think he is sending the Swarming into the Passing Mirage, but maybe he's just having a little think. Could also go into the Dragon.
So he's going to put that into the Dragon.
To take down the Dragon. Trying to make sure that Jamie doesn't build a board, but leaving that Passing Mirage up is something he might have to deal with at some point. One of the best tools that Briar would have against Ramai is those 6 power attacks that he can use to pop things. But as long as that Passing Mirage stays up, it's going to be a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, Jamie pitching a Fate Scene here creates, with that red pitch, creates an Ash and then plays that Kyloria, transforming the Ash into a beautiful golden dragon.
And we talked about this in the Katsu game as well. Kyloria, really awkward card. Comes in for 4. If it hits, draw a card.
It's that Snatch Dragon.
And yes, I was going to say, I think this is a good opportunity for Alex to use his equipment to full effect. We have seen Alex in previous games being very keen to use his equipment, uses his snaps early, and we might see that again in this game. A lot of people like to save their Snapdragons until later in the game to close out a game, for example, to make sure they can always finish with Rosetta. But Alex really likes to use those Snapdragons to create momentum early on, to create tempo early on in a game, and to ride that tempo to the end of the match. But Jamie is developing a reasonable board here.
Yeah,
looks like he is very much going for a wide dragon approach, and with the Burn Them All already down in the field. Worth noting, of course, Alex does have access to AB, but only AB2, which is very inefficient against the one arcane that Burn Them All will send towards Alex when Jamie attacks with a dragon.
Yeah, so Burn Them All, there's also a cost to this as well, right? Jamie needs to make sure that he's got those reds in his graveyard in order to, I guess, pay for the Burn Them All at the end of his turn.
He does, Sean, and it might be the case that this Burn Them All is only around for a couple of turns if Jamie's not able to develop a few more red cards in the grave. We have seen a few go there already, and of course one of those dragons being popped as well.
So Alex just having a think here. I think that's a promise of plenty in the arsenal.
We've seen Alex use Promise of Plenty to really strong effect in the past, especially the fact that when it hits a dragon, it still gets its effect of putting the top card of the deck into the arsenal. And we actually see Alex hit a really good card there, the the Lightning Surge, which actually gets go again when it's played from the arsenal itself. So actually a
That's
really nice hit
lovely
from Alex.
Yeah.
We did see him in a previous game actually hit a Channel Mount Heroic off the top and then was able to develop that Channel Mount Heroic on that turn,
Ooh.
which ended up being backbreaking in that particular game.
He's also got this sort of nimble strike package as well. See, the nimbleism enables the nimble strike to gain go again and
+1, yeah.
+1 as well.
And
So
it's just a good way for Alex to be able to enable. I chatted to him about this actually, not at this tournament, but in the past, about why he runs that line. Alex is just really keen to make sure he has plenty of ways to swing Rosetta in the late game. And I think that's why he's a bit more keen to use his Snapdragons early, because he has faith that his deck will give him the opportunity to swing Rosetta plenty of times in a matchup.
So Alex here playing Lightning Surge, coming in for 7.
And creating that embodiment as well of the damage dealt there, and ending up with Rosetta, which looks like Jamie is just going to take 2 arcane and 2 physical.
Yep, so we see 39 plays 35, still very much early doors in the UK Nationals final here. Both players just feeling each other out.
And I was going to say, actually, getting the embodiment here might be useful if another Coloria is played. The 4 attack, a lot less threatening when you can block with a non-attack for 4, but of course very dependent on whether Alex has access to that in hand. Looks like he might have a few options, but looks like he's actually just going to take this. And it'll be interesting to see what I think he attack with the dragon, or maybe he's just developed it at this point. Yeah, we're still waiting for blocks.
Okay,
and
so
it does get popped by that Runic Reclamation.
So popped by the Runic Reclamation. That's a tough one to wrap your lips around at this stage in the tournament. Came in for the 1 arcane. With that, burn them all. Gives the first dragon attack. Dragon attack or illusionist attack each turn. At 1 arcane. Deals 1 arcane. Hey, Jamie just drawing up here. Alex has 3 cards in hand, 1 card in arsenal. Gonna see what sort of response he has here.
So Alex is just going to play out the Tome of Harvest here. He had a bit of an awkward hand, I should say, with the double tome, but does have a way of recurring it out. Does lose the card from Arsenal to do that, but then draws up and might be able to make something happen here. Looks like he has a Earthlore Surge, which we've seen Alex use to good effect this tournament. The really strong buff card in his deck that does seem to run a large number of blues, giving him the resources needed to pull off these turns. We're going to see the Embodiment of Lightning get made, and looks like we might even see a... no, he's going to keep the... looks like it's a Command and Conquer in hand back, and it's just going to come in with the Lightning Surge for 9, probably. Looks like it's a red and a red. 1 resource floating, of course, to make sure that he can finish up with that Rosetta, pushing 13 damage this turn. Jamie not wanting to block too much. It's a very different game for him here. He wants to put on some pressure, doesn't want to give up all of his cards every single turn, willing to take a little bit of damage in order to build a board and try and overpower Alex.
Yeah, and he's just going to use that Rosetta just to take out the Chromai. Just trying to keep the board clear. As you said, Trip, Jamie looking to build up a board state here, and Alex at the moment just trying to keep on top of that.
Yep. We're just going to see Jamie develop some stuff here, make sure he has access to Ash, so that he can keep creating those dragons. The Sweeping Blow, when it attacks, create an Ash token. It has Go Again itself. It's quite a good starter if you do have a lot of dragons. But at the moment, Jamie a bit dragon starved. We're going to see how Alex responds to this little 1 for 3 Go Again. Whether he respects it with a block, or whether he tries to keep a big hand here to try and hit back at Jamie.
Yeah. Jamie pitches the Necria, so he's able to keep his the amount of Ash. So he's currently on 2 Ash. So we'll see. Keeping a few Ash just ticking over between rounds, it does allow him to have, I guess, be in the best position to play those dragons as they come up, as he's able to play them out.
Jamie leaking a lot of life here, I have to say. Doing it in a way to try and develop a bit of a board here, but he is down to 27 health. Could shift at some point, try and be a bit more defensive, trying to keep a big hand so that he can enable something. But Alex sitting pretty at 35 life, still got a lot of tools in the deck to play with very early on in this game. Gonna throw a block down here. Probably the E-Strike doesn't quite work with the hand that he wants to play. Probably feels like he can manage without it. We'll see what Jamie develops now. Did keep 2 cards to do this, took some damage to do this.
Pitches
and
to
he's
rake
going
the embers.
rake the embers, and he's going to start building some Ether Ashwings here. So he is definitely trying to go for a very wide board. Make sure that it's something that Alex just can't clear, and so that Burn Them All is going to be active every single turn. And we do see a pop there with the Rites of Replenishment.
Pop.
So already down to 2 Ashwings, leaving Jamie with a relatively weak board, but it's incredible to see as Drumeye players how quickly their boards can get out of hand, just an access to a couple of 0-cost dragons in hand, and suddenly it goes from nothing to overpowering. And Alex going to want to keep trying to deal with that if he can. Did also use 2 cards on that turn, blocking the attack for 3 with the E-Strike and then popping one of the Ashwings. Has left him with a little bit of a lackluster turn here. Let's see what he's able to do. I'm thinking, yeah, he's even just going to put it down because he's going to go into the Ashwing to draw off the Snatch, immediately give it go again with the Snaps. As we were saying earlier, Alex very keen to use these Snapdragon Scalers early on to keep himself in the game as tempo starts to slip away from him, using those Snaps to develop a big turn, and the Command and Conquer coming out as well, which is very nice.
Interesting that Alex has decided to play out this Command and Conquer. Maybe, not when Jamie's got a card in the arsenal.
I think Alex is probably thinking that Jamie is running a more defensive Drumeye build with a lot of defense reactions. There is a good chance that this Command and Conquer just might make it through. I do see that Jamie seems to have the Metamorph in hand. Probably going to use that to slap back with on the next turn if he has a way of giving that one Ashwing go again. Though he may not want to risk it in case it does get popped. So we'll see what Jamie decides to do here. Maybe a Rabble as well. Yeah, so Jamie does seem to have brought his more aggressive... he kept the aggressive cards that we saw in the Katsu, didn't sideboard much out. Going to push a bit of damage here. Does hit that lovely shiny foil strike off the top of the deck.
Alex just able to keep a card in arsenal round after round. He's able to keep his options open to him here. Jamie as well is Burn Them All now ticked up to 3.
But Jamie
He's having to banish.
has actually been able to fill his grave quite effectively with cards over the last few turns. He did play the Burn Them All quite early, but we have seen him playing these Rabbles. Do obviously fill the graveyard
Rabble,
with
yeah.
and he did come in with the Ashwing, and it did get popped there. So he went for Rabble and then into the Ashwing, and then pitched the Metamorph to the Flamescale Furnace. Was probably hoping to be able to maybe play that Metamorph out, but at least it's a threat that he has. If the game does go that long, it will come back round. And of course, Metamorph itself does have Phantasms, so of course, better to pop one of those little baby dragons than your 7 attack. Maybe Jamie would rather to actually have that dragon in play.
Yeah, life total's 29-24 now.
Yeah, Jamie has been doing a good job here of sort of chipping away as Alex, getting him down a little bit lower with that previous turn with the Rabble. Alex deciding to having a look here what he wants to do with this particular turn. Got 3 cards in hand. Going to go for the Sonata again. Try and make something happen. Going to pay a little bit more so that he can reveal probably 4 cards here. Yeah, we do see the 1 pitch.
So he's going to try and hit here. The last one didn't hit, so we see attack, non-attack.
That's
and a non-attack. There it
Alex.
is.
He is currently on higher health, so that Scarf and Scar's not going to have go again, but the Rabble is great.
Okay. So although he's not able to play out I mean, it's certainly able to play the Scarf for a Scar, but it may not be the most effective use of it at this time.
And he has, of course, played 1 non-attack already, so if he is able to play another non-attack and make that Embodiment of Lightning, might be able to make something happen here. Going to shuffle the deck. The Ravenous Ramble in Alex's deck, he does run a lot of blue cards, a lot of non-reds, so he's going to be hoping to try and hit with this Rabble, come in for 4. rather than hit a blue and come in for 2. We'll just let the players just shuffle their deck here. So far, Sean, it's been a a pretty normal game. I don't think anyone's developed anything super crazy. We've not seen a Channel Mount Heroic come down from the Briar. We've not seen Jamie develop any of the massive dragons yet.
No,
but
so
it's still a lot to go and a lot to come.
yeah, both players very much looking for their biggest turns or their big cards to watch. So hits the blue, as you said.
The other thing to
Rabble
point
for
out,
2.
of course, is that the power of the pitching more for the Sonata is it does leave you pay 2, and obviously if you pitch a blue for that, leaves you with 1 resource, which is exactly what you would like for Rosetta Thorn at the end of the chain.
So
Jamie
Rebel
just gonna
hits.
take that, then he's gonna not only make an embodiment of Earth off the Rabble hitting, but also make this lightning off the second non-attack. So he does have a way of giving the Scar for Scar go again, and it will be coming in for 7 with the buff from Nimblism.
Yeah, Alex's deck quite frequently. Oh, we see the Fateful Scene come down by Jamie.
Yeah, so we've seen Jamie be so quite aggressive this game in developing dragons, but we shouldn't forget that he has a lot of defense reactions in the deck and a lot of good blocking cards. And when Alex does turn it on like this, Jamie does have ways of blocking it out and not taking a huge amount of damage.
I'm going to take joy in saying this because I'm not going to be able to say it for much longer, but the Rosetta Thorn there came in for 2 and 2.
Yeah, Rosetta now living legend alongside Briar. So we're seeing Briar here at the finals of the UK Nationals. Who knows the next time we'll be seeing Briar at the top tables in the finals of a Flesh and Blood tournament. Maybe we'll have to wait until this living legend tournament that's going to take place at Worlds in Barcelona this year.
He's strike for 7 from Jamie.
Yep, just going to push damage. Is it 7? We didn't see a draw or go again. Makes sense to just come in for 7. Jamie very happy to slap attacks at Alex, try and get his life down a little bit low or force Alex to make a block here. We see Alex's final swarming. I'm pretty sure the other 2 are in the grave. Of course, he does have ways to recur those back out with some of the tools that he might be using. But it remains to be seen if he is running anything like that to bring those swarmings back into play.
I mean, 29 plays 16 here, Trip. How do you think both players are feeling at this stage? Are we starting to see it sort of play out?
No, I think they're both feeling confident at this point. They should both be very proud of the way they've played so far in this really long tournament. It's a 2-day tournament. It's a 128 player maximum size tournament. It's one of the biggest ones in the national season, alongside I think it is Canada, Australia, and Germany. We will see what Alex tries to do to shut down this A-strike shortly. But I think they would both be feeling confident at this point. They are both players who are incredibly confident in their playing of the game. Jamie feels very confident playing Dramai. Alex feels very confident playing Briar. And it's too early in the game to say who is taking the lead. I have to say, Jamie's not been able to develop any dragons, but Alex has been pumping a lot of his attacks into dragons, which obviously means attacks not hitting Jamie. Worth saying though, of course, Jamie now down to 16 health. Starting to get a bit risky if Alex is able to develop something like a Chanamara Karuk. And we do see a double Anthem of Spring here to make the embodiment of lightning a potential +2, an actual +2 buff. Anthem of Spring actually buffing any card with +1, unlike Weave Earth, which only blocks Earth or Elemental cards. So Alex could give something quite relevant a buff here. We'll see what he's able to play out after these null attacks. Gonna grasp.
Pitches to grasp, creates a rune chant.
Was it the swarming that he had in hand? Maybe using that?
He does have a swarming in hand, but we see a snatch there.
Snatch.
There's snatch coming in for 6.
Yeah, +1 from one anthem, +1 from the other. Alex. Yeah, better to get the embodiment, says Philippe in the chat. I agree. Needs to keep putting pressure on Jamie. Even when Jamie's throwing these 7s, needs to not get scared by that. Needs to keep playing out these big hands, pushing damage. When you know that Jamie's got good blocking cards, defense reactions, cards that he can shut things down, he wants to keep making stuff happen, especially wants to keep playing that Rosetta Thorn, making sure the bare minimum he's able to get that 1 chip damage through with the 2 Arcane that Jamie currently isn't able to prevent because he's only got 1 AB, but if he is able to develop an Ashwing, that will change.
Jamie uses the Crown of Seeds here Crown of Providence. Crown of Seeds, could you imagine? Crown of Providence to sink a card. I believe it was from his arsenal. And then plays a sink again.
Yeah, so we did get a little bit of a read there. Often when you see Alex play, he only makes the rune chant right before he swings the Rosetta Thorn. So seeing him make the rune chant early gives the read maybe to Jamie that a Swarming Gloomveil might be coming, making sure that he's developed as many embodiments as possible before he comes in with that Swarming. Obviously wanting to make, he's already made the embodiment of Lightning, he's made the rune chant, he's trying to get the on hit from Snatch to make that third one. And now Swarming Gloomveil can come in with all three modes, making Alex's arcane damage unpreventable. Yeah, pressuring Jamie's hand so he can't develop a board. Absolutely. That is the risk in this game for Alex. He can't let Jamie just run away with 1,000 dragons that Alex is not going to be able to shut down like a hero like Katsu or Fi would be able to. Alex, he does have access to lots of good go-again attacks. He has options. Jamie now going to bring down the big dragon. Managed to get the resources to do it with the blue and the red. Will he hit a blue off the top? No, he does not. Gets the red, going to be able to look at Alex's hand and get rid of a card.
And we see a red.
A really interesting hand.
Promise of Plenty.
Chooses to get rid of the Anthem of
Spring,
which is, you might think, why not get rid of the attack action? But of course, Jamie wanting to make sure that Alex can't just create a mountain and pass. And now Alex left with a pretty awkward hand. Does have the embodiment, so he can block this out for 4 with one of those mountains. But his next turn is going to be pretty lackluster.
Yeah, life total's 22-9 here, but Jamie's got the read on Alex's hand. This is
I have to say that was
up.
pretty. It was not a good hand for Alex. At the very least, he would be able to have developed a mountain. But of course, Jamie takes away the one card, the Earth card, that would have allowed him to create a mountain and keep it. And now he's not able to do that. He does choose to sink the card with Crown of Providence to give him an out. Unfortunately, he draws into another non-attack, it looks like. And now he has no way to kill Dominia, and he doesn't have any kind of really aggressive play that he can do on this turn.
Jamie buying
Harvest that he seems to have drawn into is completely useless. Oh, it's not completely useless at all because it is an Earth card. So he does now have a way to develop the mountain and pass, which is actually going to work out okay for him. But Jamie is going to, of course, yes, gets the mountain up, attacks with the Plumbers of Plenty into the dragon. So that is a good blue. Finds the Earth blue. Very lucky there. Actually made something happen. Could have been very difficult for Alex in that situation if he didn't actually hit into another Earth blue. And it's actually, when you think about it, very lucky. Looked like a card he couldn't even play, but actually manages to stay in this game. That particular turn could have been it for Alex. Jamie there, the Domineer being incredibly impactful, but Alex really, you got to say, did get a bit of a break there.
Yeah, wow.
Getting the access to the one card that he needs in order to get that mountain up. And not only in doing so, that gave the buff to the Promise of Plenty, which otherwise he would not have been able to kill Domineer with, leaving him at the mercy of Jamie to keep swinging with that big dragon. And now Jamie is the one looking like he's in the backseat with a mountain on the table, and Alex with a 5-card hand potentially.
Yeah, so Jamie bringing out the Rake of Embers here, just trying to have some sort of response. But I mean, I know you were saying Alex was able to find a turn there, really out of nothing, but really comes down to it. Like,
it seemed that it looks like the stars were aligned there for Alex.
Absolutely.
It was like a little bit of luck on his side, a little bit of fate.
It does take a bit of luck though sometimes, doesn't it? When it comes to these big tournaments, you need a little
what
bit.
People are saying in the chat is that Alex makes his own luck. He plays incredibly cleanly. He plays incredibly well. You make the difficult decisions. You make the tough decisions. You get those right, and then you give yourself the space, the opportunity for a little bit of luck to fall your way. And of course, alongside that is running Crown, knowing when to use Crown correctly, and that was the perfect opportunity to use Crown to save himself, and he did. And now we're going to see Alex make something happen here. We're going to try and hit some more attack actions
Pitch into
with the
Sonata.
Iconics. As we said before, leaving himself...
Jamie's got his
probably with
fingers
one resource.
crossed here. The ultimate disrespect.
Non-attack. It's not disrespect.
No, I'm joking.
It's the way the game is.
I know players very well.
And oh, what a fantastic outcome for Alex. Does hit 2 non-attacks. Again, of course, the Scar for a Scar is not going to have go again because Alex is at a higher life total. But hitting those attacks is exactly what Alex wanted. Indeed, the Crown was very heads up, but it's, you got to, yeah, exactly. You got to play 2 outs, right? Exactly. That was the only way he was getting out of that situation, and he saw it and he did it. You can call it a heart of the cards, but I don't think Alex would. No, we know
It's
Alex very well.
very methodical,
Been a
very
strong supporter of the
logical.
Push the Point podcast for some time. Always a pleasure to play against. I'm sure you guys are seeing it in the chat as well. He plays very cleanly, very well, and it's fantastic to see him here at this tournament. Now, let's get back in the game. Let's see what Alex is able to make happen with this 5-card hand.
I think I can see 2 Bramble Sparks in hand as well. So, as you said,
he likes the fuse, but he can definitely give something go again.
Yeah, as you said, he'll be looking to create that embodiment of lightning to be able to maybe give one of those Scar for a Scar's go again, since he is on the higher life total. So 15 plays 7 here.
Looks like it's going to be a Bramble into a Scar.
Fantastic final so far.
And then probably follow up with the Lightning Surge for 7. It's not as backbreaking as it could be against when you've got a channel on the board. But because he's not able to enable too much go again this turn, Jamie might just get out of this okay. Yeah. Not if he was able to fuse this, it would certainly be backbreaking, but I don't think he's able to fuse these Bramble Sparks. And there is a question here, everyone. There is a thought. You know, Alex needs to push damage, needs to win this game. But Jamie is gradually getting these dragons on the board. He's got 2 Ashwings, he's got a dragon. It looks like Alex has to go for the face here, has to try and push Jamie down. But if Jamie can live with a little bit of life, he might be able to build something from here.
So he's still got +3 damage in that Channel Mount Heroic. He gets another +3 off the Bramble Spark, no?
Fused. The Bramble Spark's not being fused. So
it's just 1 arcane.
The only effect that it gets is it gives Scar for a Scar, deal 1 arcane damage. So it's only like it's dealing +1. I mean, I've got to say, if he had an F card in here to fuse these Bramble Sparks, that would be it. Jamie throws down the 2-card block.
2 cards left in hand.
Might want to keep a Bramble for the arsenal, set something up for the next turn, or is he just going to try and push as much damage as he can? Of course, arcane damage incredibly good against Dramai because they don't run many blues. Every bit of arcane damage is something.
Jamie down to 5. Bramble Spark into Scar for Scar here. So 4 damage.
Pushing another 8 damage here. 1 arcane from the Bramble Spark, 7 from the Scar for the Scar. And he's going to stick that Lightning Surge in the arsenal for the next turn. He is going to lose the mountain. Of course, has not pitched any Earth cards this turn. Jamie got the Sigil to prevent a little bit of damage there.
Elmactronic is not... Alex won't be able to swing the Rosetta here because he doesn't have go again on this Scar for a Scar.
I think if he had go again, he would just be throwing another 7 at Jamie's face and winning the game. Unfortunately, does not have that right now.
Jamie on 7 life.
Alex appears to have missed the embodiment. Looks like the game may have moved on to the point where he won't be allowed to make it. We'll let the judge decide that. Going to Arsenal at Lightning and move on to the next turn. Jamie with no cards.
Lightning Surge in Arsenal?
Going to draw up, correct. Alex very much in the driving seat here. Jamie on 3 health. He does have a few dragons. Going to think about if he wants to attack with them. Unfortunately, we do see a pretty rough hand here from Alex. He's probably just going to be able to make a mountain that won't last for long. And then have to come in. He can come in with a big attack here. Let's see how this goes out.
Jamie, just have a look through the graveyard. What do you think Jamie's looking for?
I don't think he missed the lightning embodiment. I think he missed the embodiment of Earth because he did deal damage to Jamie, but no lightning embodiment of Earth is on the field.
What would Jamie be looking for in Alex's graveyard at this stage in the game? Is there any particular card, or is he just thinking how many of those go against you?
He's probably just thinking about 6 power cards wherever he even wishes to swing with one of these dragons, because of course he still has an action point here. But then he's got the Pass of Mirage up, so I'm not sure entirely what he is looking for in the grave.
Yeah, Shamir, there are judges, obviously with it being the final, there's a judge by the side of the table.
And Jamie just
keeping an eye on the game
here, going to try and preserve his board the best he can. So Alex has a pretty weird hand. He's got 2 blues.
There's a Nimble Strike.
Another mountain, but he's not going to be able to keep this mountain around. But he is probably going to be able to make something happen here.
So pitches to the mountain.
This is the mountain going down. He's going to get a +3 on the card in Arsenal. He's going to get a +3 on this Nimblism. He's going to banish a Nimblism from the grave. This is going to come in for 8 with go again, +3 from the mountain. And then he's got that card in Arsenal, the Lightning Surge. That's going to come in for 7 as well. Does he have a resource left for Rosetta, I think he does. He might even have enough for... No,
He's
he
got
just has 2. So he
2.
doesn't have enough for Rune Chant and Rosetta, but he does have enough for 7 with Go again. Into Rosetta Thorn for 2 and 2. This is a ton of damage that Jamie's going to have to deal with. 8, 7, and 4.
Jamie now really on the back
Doesn't
foot
need
at
to
this
keep this
stage.
mountain. He just needs to win this game.
Oh,
And Jamie able
sink
to shut this
below.
down with a 3 and a 4. He is still going to take 1 damage because I believe that Nimble Strike is coming in for 8 with Go again. The +1 from banishing the Nimbleism.
Oh, and he's always thinking about it. So there's a nimble strike. A lightning surge in Arsenal
just
here.
correcting
So
the light total, I believe, because it was for 8. He only blocked for 7. The lightning surge is going to come in here. Alex has to play it out. Surely this is enough. Jamie's on 2. He's about to come in for 7 and then 4 with the Rosetta Thorn. Is Alex Chitu about to take the UK National Championship? And he does.
Alex.
Briar taking down Jamie Faulkner. Well, Alex taking down Jamie Faulkner. Briar getting more living legend points, more than they know what to do with. An absolutely fantastic play from Alex. UK national champion. Sean, what an incredible, fantastic game that was.
I that seemingly just almost came out of, maybe not came out of absolutely nowhere, but Alex was just putting on pressure and just kept on going. And really, Alex just kept on putting so much pressure that Jamie just couldn't get a foothold at all.
It was all about that turn where Jamie managed to create Domineer, thought he had completely locked Alex out of a turn, essentially ended his turn, but then Alex had a little bit of luck with that crown, with that card sunk, managed to fetch a blue earth card that allowed him to develop, not just develop the mountain, but also allowed the one attack that he had to kill Domineer, to allow him to then move into that big mountain turn.
Wow.
And then develop another mountain after that to break the back of Jamie's drum eye to win the UK National Championship. All 3 Channel Mount Heroics showed up in 2 hands, people saying in the chat. Yes, they did. And Alex used them at the perfect opportunity. Managed to win that game with a little bit of a hope and a prayer, but played incredibly well. And what we were saying when we were casting, Alex, he's played perfectly this tournament. He's created the opportunity for him to get a little bit of luck. You can only win nationals with a little bit of luck if you're at the top table. Because that's what you got to do to get there. You have to play incredibly well. We saw it from Jamie as well. Drumeye taking down Katsu in the semi-finals to set up that matchup against Briar. But I'll be honest with you, Sean, I couldn't be happier with the winner we have. Alex is a fantastic player, a lovely gentleman, and a real testament to the quality and professionalism we have in the United Kingdom Flesh and Blood community.
Absolutely. I mean, Alex, local London player or south of the UK player, and he's just been able to show time and time again, regardless of what hero he plays, whether it's Viserai, whether it's Briar, he's able to turn up for these big events and compete. I mean, hats off to both players. Obviously, Alex there walks away with over $2,000 in prize money, and Jamie walks away with over $1,000 in prize money.
At the end of the day, it is that trophy. It is being able to call yourself the champion of your nation, of the United Kingdom, being able to say that I am the best in the United Kingdom, going through so many rounds of Swiss, 12 rounds of Swiss, making his way through that final. We didn't even see that incredible game he had against Axe Dorinthia in the semis. I got a photo of it. It was one of the craziest things I've seen in my life. But went through that huge game, that long game, that tiring game that you played against Dorinthia in the semis, and then to go into that final against Jamie Faulkner, one of the best Drumeye players in the UK, in Europe, in the world, and take him down with the power of Channel Mount Heroic.
Incredible.
I want to see more Earth Heroes in the game. I don't want Channel to be a whisper of the past. I want to see a comeback, LSS. But for now, Briar is taking a break, and we will take a break as well.
Yeah.
We will have a catch-up very shortly with Alex, with your UK National Champion.
Okay, welcome back to UK Nationals, Leeds Royal Armory. Been joined by our new UK champion. Well done. Well done. Thing is,
crazy,
you've been in so many top fours, so many finals, and it's just like it's just been taken away from you like all the time. It's been quite painful when I do the meta report to see that you haven't won. It's just like, Christ, you're there all the time. It's so nice that you're no longer the bridesmaid. You are the winner. You are fantastic.
I mean, if there's ever one to win, I suppose it has to be this one, right?
Yeah, but it's nice because you are Runeblade. You are Runeblade through and through.
Yeah.
You're taking Briar on her last run. and you've won it, and you've won it with an aggro Briar, whereas everybody was sort
The
of
way it
talking
should be.
about
The way it should be.
petite Briar. So let's get your trophy in, okay? Let's get you to hold it because you deserve it so much. George, our former national champion, we'll give you the
Thank you very
trophy.
much. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Alex.
Cheers.
It's now it's like,
Well done. Well done.
You need a.
yeah.
So Jamie was a little bit worried. He was hoping that Nathan would beat you in the top four. He didn't want to face your Briar at all. He was quite happy facing the Dory. But that was a long match versus Nathan.
Yeah.
You had a recursion package to fight against him, which you alluded to when we talked about your Briar deck on the very first time you came in for a win, came in for a chat. The rights of replenishment, helped you through that Dory match.
Yeah.
This match, you managed to get the card at the right time. When Jamie had a look at your hand with Dominia, you had, I mean, looked like you bricked. It was just like, oh my God, you haven't got anything.
It wasn't looking good.
No,
wasn't looking good.
It was just like, I thought Jamie was going to come back, but you crowned, got another card, you played the channel mount out, and it was just like, you managed to keep yourself on the right track. I mean, what were you thinking, like, on that hand when you presented it? I mean, nobody wants a room blade bricking, do they?
Well, I don't know. I had to go for it. But if you think about it, it's like it would have been so disastrous if I had missed there, because not only am I not developing the CMH, but at the same time, I'm not killing Dominia, so he's just going to come in next turn with the very same thing. So, yeah, definitely, that was super lucky, but I suppose you need a little bit of luck, right?
Well, everyone needs the luck. You put the reps in, but you get the luck through it.
But like we were sitting outside just before the match, and he was saying like, oh, it's 50-50, but probably just an intimidation tactic. So,
You got to play the mind games.
yeah. It's like, I don't think it's 50-50, bro.
So you were quite comfortable going into that.
Other than the Dory, probably the one I wanted to face the most. The moment I saw the top 8, I knew once I got past the Lexi, it would be smooth sailing for me, basically. Obviously, it was super close, and that game as well, I had to get super lucky, right, against Sharif, to even get in that position. And not only that, but I was second seed, coming into this top 8.
Yep.
If I had been top seed, which was very, very close to happening, I would have faced Samuel Braben on Icelander.
And you didn't want that.
Well, no, that was basically a almost guaranteed loss.
Okay.
I faced Samuel in the Calling Swiss, in Calling Birmingham.
Yeah.
And he destroyed me. So I was like, phew.
I bet he was looking around going, I've got Alex's number here. And
Yeah.
He was probably thinking the same way. Oh, I didn't get it.
And then Jamie had to beat the Ninja as well, which was like against all odds, basically, right?
He's got a slightly favoured match into Katsu more than Phi. But it's difficult to get through. But like, I mean, you know yourself, the quality of players we've got in the UK, you get into the top 8, it's no easy match. It's just like, you've got to be on point.
No match is easy.
So, but you just got to play to your outs, and you definitely played to your outs. And it was fantastic. Such a fantastic game. Thank you so much for coming on the stream. Like 3 or 4 times you were on. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, on the stream, for everybody to watch. But the London crowd must be going absolutely mental.
Oh, they are. Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the London crowd and my teammates in general. So the London High Rollers. Yeah. They helped me out immensely in getting to this point. So just a few of them. I'm sure I'm not gonna name all of them, but like the ones I've tested with the most was Arian, Zhang, Shamir, Jason, and so many more. But and it's particularly, I think, my recursion package that I ended up putting into the deck is definitely due to a lot of testing that we did to figure out that So my teammate Zhang basically, I said
Yeah,
last time.
Shamir's giving you the
Yeah.
love.
He destroyed me because he's like a fatigue specialist. So
And he
like,
plays Dromai as well.
um,
So he has done in the past. I've
yeah,
seen
yeah,
Zhang
yeah.
play.
He life fatigued me on Bravo, but it ended up helping me out against the Dory as well. Escaping. Yeah, I ended up fatiguing the Dory basically.
But you need good players around you so you can practice properly.
Yeah, that's
So,
absolutely true.
Yeah. So everybody else who's got their nationals coming up, there are 2 Briar decks to look out for. One aggro Briar, one fatigue Briar. Take your pick. Let her have a last run out for your nationals. So, Alex, absolute pleasure. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Really well done.